Hello there, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty YouTube channel, and I am back today to make two more alternatives using the June 2019 paper pumpkin kit. I hope you'll stick around and see what I'm going to make. Thanks so much for stopping by again today. I hope that you'll enjoy this video. I shared earlier in the week two more videos where I made alternatives with the new kit. In the first video, I made clear cards where I basically used the layout that Stampin' Up! Suggested, but I put the cards on a clear card base just to make it easier for mailing and to try something different. And then my second video, I created shaker cards using sand and elements from the kit. Both of the videos where I shared how I created these, I have linked the playlist in the description box below, so I hope you'll go check those out. And while you're over at the playlist, make sure to check out my 5,000 subscriber giveaway announcement. I give you the basics and tell you what you need to watch and listen for in each of my videos this month. And as a prize, I'm going to be giving away 4 1-month codes so you can get yourself your very own paper pumpkin kit. In today's video, I am going to be using two of the cards that were provided with the kit, and I am going to be extending these a little bit so that they will fit on a standard A2 card base. Once I start the process, I will go into a voiceover, so make sure if I don't answer anything in the voiceover that you leave those questions in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Let's go ahead and get started. For the supplies, I chose the green and blue kind of watercolor card from the kit. I show a label here, but I don't end up using it. For embellishments, I have the palm tree, a sand dollar, a sea star, one of the green leaves, and then some of the coral, and a little piece of twine. For my stamps, I chose the kind of dotted or textured stamp. I thought that would look like water in the background. And then I have the You Are Amazing sentiment stamp. I have a piece of Coastal Cabana that is 3 3/4 wide by 3 1/4 inches tall, and then I chose a card base that is Coastal Cabana as well. I start by getting out my Creative Memories wave cutter. I bought this probably a decade ago, but they might still actually sell it. I think I saw it recently. I'll see if I can find it and link it below, but I just really like that you can cut different size waves with this. If you don't have that trimmer, you can go ahead and just either draw something on the back and cut it by hand, or just go ahead and freehand it. The next thing I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment, and I want to make sure that I stamp it at the right place on this little scrap of Coastal Cabana. So I am just tacking these pieces down for now. Later I will pull those back up. The kit does come with a Coastal Cabana ink spot, but because I have the full-size pad, I am going to be using it to stamp my sentiment here. Because my mat is the same color as my card base, I do want to make my focal point stand out a little bit. So I will be using Versamark ink and some clear embossing powder to stamp and emboss this background. Now I do just stamp as much as I need, so you'll notice when I'm all done that I do have a spot in the middle that is not embossed. And to make sure that my ink didn't get too dry for the powder, I did stamp and heat emboss these in 2 sections. To this day, seeing the transition from powder to actually heat embossed is still one of my favorite things about stamping. Like I mentioned before, I did this in 2 sections, so now I am just stamping and heat embossing the bottom part of the card. Now that the background was all ready, it was time to work on the focal point. I started by peeling back up the pattern paper since I had just tacked that down lightly, and then I used Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to pop those pattern pieces back onto my scrap of Coastal Cabana. To adhere the punch outs from the kit, I used some of the glue dots that they provided, and on the palm tree, I made sure not to put any glue dots in the part of the tree that would go over that opening. Once that was where I wanted it, I went ahead and started putting on some of the other embellishments like the coral and the green leaf. And then you'll see here at first I only put the sand dollar down in the embellishment cluster, but you'll see me use that sea star in just a little bit. I tied a little bow with the twine that they gave me and then just adhered that to the focal point with a glue dot as well. Here's where I decided I needed to balance out the focal point a little bit. So I ended up putting the sea star there over on the right beneath the sentiment, and I did let that hang off my focal point just a little bit. Once I had everything laid out like I wanted it, I brought in my foam tape squares, and I get these at the Dollar Tree. I love them. And then I put my focal point on my card. Like many videos before this, I had a little technical difficulty. I realized that my camera was not on when I was recording making the second card. But no big deal, because mostly I am just repeating what I did for the first card. I stamped and heat embossed the sand dollar on the background of my card front, and then on my focal point, I actually cut that wave out by hand this time. Before I get started on the rest of the process of this video, I thought I would share with you the supplies that I used. For my embellishments, I chose the circle decorative vellum piece, 2 of the green leaves, a sand dollar, and then some of the twine. The sentiment I used on this card was the "Thank you, it means so much." I also had a scrap of crumb cake in the same size as the scrap for the first card, so it's 3 3/4 wide by 3 1/4 inches tall. And then for my card base, I used a crumb cake card base, and the second stamp I used was the sand dollar, and that is how I stamped the background. So the rest of the process is pretty much the same as before. Once I had my sentiment stamped on my crumb cake focal point, I used some foam tape to pop up those wavy pieces, and then it was time to start building my embellishment cluster. Once I had all of those pieces kind of laid out where I wanted them, I decided that instead of tying a bow this time with my twine, I was going to make a little twine nest behind my sand dollar. So I got some adhesive on the back of that, and then I just started wrapping the twine in loops and making sure to press it down nice on the adhesive on the back. I did my best at trying to keep the twine from being seen through the openings in the sand dollar. I almost forgot that I need to give you a secret word for today's video. Now, if you don't know what this secret word is about, you'll want to go see the giveaway announcement that I mentioned earlier in the video and linked below. Today's secret word is wave. And once again, a friendly reminder to please not point this secret word out in your comment by either saying it outright or typing it in all caps. I will delete your comment, and unfortunately you'll be disqualified from the giveaway. To finish out my embellishment cluster, I used some small glue dots to adhere my sand dollar to the front piece. Once that was all done, I put adhesive on the back and put it flat down onto my card base. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I made these two alternatives for the June 2019 paper pumpkin kit. If you did enjoy this video, as always, I appreciate a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and would like to know when I upload more videos, I hope you'll consider clicking on subscribe and then tapping that bell to get notifications. To my regular viewers and subscribers, thanks again for stopping back by today. Until my next video, I hope you're all having a crafty day. Bye-bye.